You ever wonder if it's possible to put ASCAP and BMI on X Games mode and remove all limitations for you to collect your money? Well, it totally is possible, and I'm going to show you how to do that, plus show you a path to collect more of your money quicker than you ever thought possible. Now, contrary to popular belief, everyone doesn't have to have their stuff together for you to collect your money. Let's just get that out the way. I've been a publisher for 5 years, going on 6, and I've used these methods all the time. So let me show you the inside world publishers use to work around problems with you creators. You know what I'm saying? So cheat code number 1 is bypassing the unregistered homie. Check it out. You know how when you create a song with a group of people and there's one person who's brand new to the industry in the room, but yet they contribute to a key part of the song, and you want to give them writers and publishers credit, but they don't have a PRO account. I think everybody has been here before. The key is to do your registration, but reserve their splits at the PRO. Now, if you don't do this, you could be waiting forever, constantly contacting your friend just to make sure that they signed up. And we all know this is a headache. But if you follow my instructions, you won't have to wait on them. You only have to remind them to sign up and use a copy of their split sheet to claim their share, or tell them just to remind you to change it once they sign up. Now, what you got to do is you got to enter their name into the registration. Register them as NA or NS at BMI or ASCAP, and remind them to change the work via a work request change. Because if you think this is difficult, it's not. What's more difficult is continually asking them to sign up at a PRO before you do the registration. But at the end of the day, this cheat code is about collecting your money without waiting. Now, cheat code number 2 is bypassing the unpublished homie. So many people back in the day signed up for BMI because the writer's account was free. However, they didn't have the money to create a publisher's account, and chances are they still don't. Now, upon registration, publishing information is required, but they don't have it. So how can you complete this registration is the question. The key is to forward the publishing percentage to the writer's account. If you don't do this, you can't complete your registration. But when you do, you'll be happy that you just didn't have to wait on them for the PRO information again. Now, what you got to do is at ASCAP, you got to find the writer's name and click the checkbox that says this writer does not have a publisher. That's pretty easy. But on BMI, you got to find the writer's account, and then you have to click if it's available, if it pops up that this writer does not have a publisher, if it's available, okay? Now, add their publisher percentage to their writer's percentage. Let me say that again. Add their publisher's percentage to their writer's percentage. This way, the writer will still get their publishing money, but it will flow through their writer's account. All right, a little bit more complex way to do things, but it's easier to do this than to constantly ask for their PRO information. At the end of the day, this cheat code is about collecting your money without waiting as well. Let's recap for a little bit. So far, we've covered the unregistered homie and the non-publisher homie. But this next part is where most artists and their teams get stuck. Watch this, as splitting your publisher share. So stay with me. And side note, if you need a strong business foundation to run your personal record label with funding, grab my 60-day record label system complete with my funding partners to try out some of these cheat codes today. Now, check it out. Cheat code number 3 is splitting your publisher share with a second person. And this may be where you're donating a share, if you will. Now, have you ever been in a situation where a manager or indie label wants a co-publishing portion of your publishing, or you want to donate a portion of your publishing to another writer where your publisher does not match your writer split? Then there's a certain way that you do it. You're going to have to attach 2 original publishers to you as a writer, one being you and the other being the party you want to donate the publishing shares to, okay? This is option 1. There's a couple other workarounds to squeeze this in, but I'm keeping this simple. Now, if you don't do it this way and you put them down as a writer, you will dilute everyone else's shares, and all hell will break loose at that point with the other writers. But if you do it this way, nobody else will be affected. So check it out. So in a scenario where you have, let's say, 50% publishing, and you want to split that publishing 50-50 with another partner, just put down you as 25% the original publisher, and that's going to be attached to you as the writer, and the other person 25% the original publisher, still attached to you as the writer. It's not hard to do, but you have to be 100% sure of your numbers based on the contract that represents it. At the end of the day, this cheat code is about leaving room for an administration publishing deal without adding the manager or indie label's co-publishing splits to the administration slot. That's going to screw up everything. This will screw up your MLC, HFA, and music reports registrations if you do it that way. So remember the 3 cheat codes here. You can bypass the unregistered homie, you can bypass the unpublished homie, and you can split your publisher's share if it's called for. The goal is to truly understand what you can do to get your money without ruffling feathers. But the real question isn't should you do this, it's how much longer can you afford not to try some of these cheat codes, you know what I'm saying? Now, if you need further explanation, book a call with me or join our group strategy calls every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time inside the Music Money Makers community. Click below to join and book a call today. Bypassing the unregistered homie is easier than continually asking them to sign up at a PRO before you do the registration. Bypassing the unpublished homie is easier to do than constantly asking them for their PRO information yet again. But lastly, splitting your publisher share is not hard to do, but you have to be 100% sure of your numbers based on the contract that represents it. Okay? So stop asking for info and just use these cheat codes to save yourself the headache, the arguments, and improper registrations. At the end of the day, if you were struggling with how to get your publishing money without limitations, you now know how to do it. Music Money Makers, if you make music, you should always make money. Log on to musicmoneymakeover.com. Grab the 60-day record label system, complete with my funding partners, book a call today, join the Music Money Makers community, grab the free stuff, and watch this next video right here to save your career. And I'll see you next time. Peace.